Hi Stephanie.
Hi, Sheerin.
How have you been doing
I'm
lately?
doing good.
Doing
Yes.
good. Yeah, wonderful, Stephanie. Stephanie, I wanted to know what is that you want to put your focus on during this term?
So currently, and the number of SODs have increased in the primary phase, and I work. I'm an inclusion teacher. Um, so due to the increase in the SODs, the MLTs have also been assigned one level 3 SOD. So since I'm a learning support teacher, I have to be in constant touch with the assigned teacher for my SODs. What I'm currently facing is that my relationship with my SODs, with my MLTs, is not that great because they see this as like an additional burden. As to making resources, and because of which the hindrance that I'm facing is that what progress I see in my sessions, in my pull-out sessions, is not matching with the progress that I see in class. Like their FAs are not that great, however we have the same IEP goal that is aligning with it, but it does not show. And even their classroom participation is not my SOD's classroom participation, and those lessons are not great because the the given or the given accommodation or the suggested accommodation has not been put in place.
So I hear that one of the issues is that the SOD numbers in your school have increased this year.
Correct.
Yeah, and somewhere you feel that your relationship with the middle leaders is not too great,
Yes.
because of which you're unable to show them the picture
Yeah.
where they need to be more involved with the
Yes.
SODs in their own class.
Yes.
Result of which is probably SOD's participation being low in the class,
Yeah.
and the FA results not very encouraging.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so what is you looking at? Like, what do you think that if this problem was not there for you, how would it look at?
So if this number one is my SODs making progress not only in my pull-out sessions but also in class. I also forgot to mention earlier that this academic year we've introduced an alternate curriculum called ASDAM.
Okay.
So again, which the MLTs again find it a little bit challenging to use that curriculum. So getting back to your question, is that my ideal situation would be now my priority is my SODs. So their progress in class and the level of participation along with my relationship with my MLTs to increase. So three things I would that what my ideal situation would look like.
So, okay, so you would want to focus on building relationships.
Correct.
With the MLT.
Yes.
Improving SOD progress.
Correct.
In class and in your sessions, in class and in your sessions, and your third one being
my relationship. Mainly it's my relationship and my the progress and their participation, the level of participation and progress to increase.
Okay, so you're looking at two things.
Yes.
One is the MLT, building MLT relationships.
Correct.
So that you can probably get your message across, get them on buy-in for them.
Which will then cater to the provided accommodation modifications for my students.
Okay. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think the current situation, your current reality is? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put it as the situation?
I would put it at a 4.5.
Okay. And why would you say that?
Because we have time for collaboration.
Okay.
We agree on the modifications when we do meet.
Okay.
However, it's not being executed.
Okay.
So we discuss the modifications. We are on the same page at the time when we're discussing. But when it comes to execution, also it gets somewhere down the line is not. There is a gap there.
Okay.
So because of which then I am answerable to sometimes the parents saying that you show that the progress is made in the IEP, then why is it not in the classroom? Because the goals, we make sure that the modified goals that the students have are matching our IEP goals. So then we get answered as to what is the issue, why we are not getting there. So that's
So
why
I hear you that currently the options that you are trying is a collaboration with the teachers, the MLTs,
yes.
and that is to some extent is satisfactory.
Correct.
And then people are in the collaborative meetings. You are able to come to an agreement.
Correct.
About the modifications.
Correct.
The area that you are finding challenging is what is happening in the classroom.
Yes.
Where you are not sure with the classroom about the implementation
Correct.
of the agreed modification.
Correct.
Okay, I get that there. So, what are the things that you have tried currently so that you can get this thing in the classroom also happen?
So initially, we in our PPAs, for the first 2 months we have had me going in the classroom, of course during our push-ins, getting the necessary modification that is required, and a lot of hand holding in the first 2 months to give the MLTs a clear idea as to how things should be done.
Okay.
Along with that, I have trained my learning support assistant who is with the teacher, with the student, as to having set rules, like the teacher should come and introduce the topic. The teacher should ensure that the is coming and checking on the SOD and seeing if there is many progress with the student, ensuring that he or she is participating in class. So a lot of hand holding had been done in the first initial months, because we know I knew that this is going to be a challenge for the MLTs, since it is a task, it is an additional task, of course, but that those are some things that we had done, or we did, so that it does not cause a hindrance later on when the academic year starts and the summatives also begin.
Right.
So
you feel these have not been enough, or do you think you would need something else? Who do you think could help you in this, or what skill sets or any content? Yes, Stephanie, other than what you've already been doing, do you think you would want to build up on any skill sets or any person that you would think that can be helpful in such a situation? Or how can I help you in helping in solving this situation and achieving your goal?
Well, I think first the vision of the MLTs and ours need to come in the midpoint. Somewhere is where I think, because I think that's where the hindrance is happening. Who can really help is I need to approach my Senko, talking about the challenges that I'm facing. Again, I think because if the vision with the MLTs will see what we are saying or why we are doing what we're doing, maybe then they will get a different approach to then really going in and checking in on the students. Maybe that could help, maybe having a vision, because I'm not questioning their skill sets. I know that they are there for a reason. My skill set is, of course, that maybe I could talk about success stories. I don't know. Maybe I could talk about success stories of how, maybe in a collaboration or when we are meeting, about the teachers that they are only leading. Maybe I could say, hey, in your class, or a teacher who also has a level 3 in a different year group, they have done so much progress, and maybe that could be one solution. Maybe
one of the options
for them to
sure. So that could be another thing that you could look into. Yeah. Anything else that comes to your mind? How could that you could do to get? If I may suggest, do you think I can suggest you something in as an option? Have you had a kind of? Do you want to consider having a meeting between the parents and the MLT? Because in this case, the MLT is a teacher herself.
True.
So, do you want that kind of consideration of them meeting each other? Would be helpful, would make an impact on them when they actually see the parent on the other side and understand the struggles that the parent is going through because of the child.
Yeah, definitely. Because because even the parents are not finding it, of course, find it difficult as to how do we go about, how do we teach them. So maybe understanding their struggles also, and then they can give them solutions without us, because they know the accommodations and the modifications all listed in the IEP. So maybe they can tell them, okay, maybe you could have chunking reading, or you could have timers set up. So it's them then giving them the solutions to the parents. So yeah, maybe that could also be helpful for them to have a self-reflection, like maybe, hey, I know what I'm doing.
Self-reflection is which is very important for even the MLTs, because at this point they are the teachers of the SODs. Yeah, that's great. So when we are looking in, yes, so as we were discussing, I saw that you have already been doing collaboration. You have been trying, you have been having those meetings, and those collaborative meetings, the agreement on the modifications has been there. Your challenge was mostly about the classroom, and as we progressed, you have come up with options where you are thinking that probably to build on the relationships that you are finding as your goal here is to have a common vision with the MLT.
Yes.
And for that, you have understood that the best person to approach is the SENCO, your SEN coordinator, so that you all can have a little workshop or something where you can we can talk about success stories and case stories of teachers within your department, so it is very real. And they can see that how it can work and how it can improve and impact the students' lives. And yes, we even talked about how the MLTs, since they are the teachers themselves of these students, they can meet the parent, and then that will help them have some autonomy and and get into self-reflection to see how they are able to benefit the child. So I think these are great. Now, can you think about amongst these, which one do you think you would want to do first, or you would want to do only one and wait and watch, or how would you want to go about with your options?
Firstly, I think sharing success stories. I think sharing success stories with the MLTs, not only outside our school but also inside our school. Maybe having conversations of past students who have passed out and who have done really well, who have been on level 3, and what's their journey like today. And even in the today's setting, like how in this term of there are many teachers also within who's under them who are doing great. So maybe sharing their success stories could be one solution. To say, like, hey, my teachers are doing well. If my teachers can do well, then even I can. Then
so that would be your first step.
That would be my first.
Great. So first you would be meeting your SENCO and then arranging for this kind of a workshop.
Yes.
Great. After that, what do you think you would want to do, or you would want to go with just this for the time being?
No, I'm hoping that through this we can have a shared vision. Then a shared vision can be formed, because that's what I really want to work with my MLT. That will also help me that could help build my relationship with my MLT, because since we then have a shared vision and not very different approach to what's happening, so maybe that could help also.
So probably that will help you with the collaboration at the end, what you're looking at.
Yes, definitely.
So rapport building to get a better collaborative team working together for the same
and then
goal.
maybe then the MLTs can be even more vocal about the actual challenges they are facing in class. Because maybe if they are collaborating with me, then maybe they can be like, hey, or that trust will be built with them. Then they can say, hey, you know what, I'm really struggling with this, and how can you help me with this? Or for me, for that matter, if a content is too difficult, so I can then approach them and say, hey, how can I do this in my pull-out sessions? How can we collaborate together so that the student is the main focus of the for us, their end goal. So maybe collaboration that way of me being also asking, be patient with them, knowing that okay, they do have work. I mean, they have teachers to follow up with.
So I hear you that when your collaboration gets better, then probably they will also be more open with their challenges, and you will be in a better position to address them, maybe, because currently I understand that you're feeling that they are really not giving too much of things, so they're kind of blocking you.
Yes.
So once they have built that rapport and that confidence and trust,
so I maybe that could help. And then talking more about challenges, maybe then instead of me just going in and saying, hey, this is your lesson, this is the accommodation, this is the modification, maybe, and instead of, maybe we can divert the discussion and say that, okay, this is the modification, this is the accommodation, what challenges you may face. Maybe having that conversation during the lesson could also help. Now that thinking about it, that taking that route, instead of saying, I gave you the modification, I've given you the accommodation, why haven't you executed it? So having those conversations may increase my collaboration. So then there could be some accountability as to why it has not happened, because I've not only discussed the modification but also discussed the challenges that may happen or may occur in the class, and then what can the teacher do in that spot. So maybe that would help.
So brilliant. So now we even come up with this, that when we improve collaboration, your MLTs who are teachers also of these SOD children will be even more open to you, come up to you for suggestions, and at the end collaboration, and hence the SOD. That's our goal, right? To improve their progress in class and out class would be better. When all this will happen, how long do you think this can take with your options, that this option that you take, how long do you think you will need to do this so that you can achieve your goal with the SOD making better progress in the class and outside?
I think if I have to break it in two parts. First, building my relationship with my MLTs, and then seeing the progress, how they go. So maybe a month. Or maybe I can give myself a month's time to track and see, and then see, okay, at the beginning of the month, how will my SOD do in this particular subject. At the end of the month, is there any progress that they have made? If
yes, so as we understood that we are how confident are you at this point, Stephanie, with the conversations that we've had, that how confident are you that this thing will work out for you?
I am feeling pretty confident, because since I came, I just knew that what my issue was, and I was feeling a little helpless, because I felt like I was doing everything that in my power to, I can't extend more than I can't go inside and teach for my MLTs. So I am quite confident, because I know exactly how I can tackle the situation now. And then maybe move on from that, and then see if it works or not works. But then again, if it does not work, then again, since my relationship will be built, then I can have that conversation openly with my MLTs.
Absolutely. So the first thing, if you are summing up, what are you going to do currently? The first step. So
my first step would be maybe having an open conversation before throwing all the success stories in my MLT's face.
So having an open conversation, then
identifying what exactly the challenges are.
So currently you will not go for the MLT workshop. You will first go through this part. Okay, great. So having an open conversation, then discussing or taking from them any
challenges. What exactly are the challenges that they are facing, and then since that is built, then showing them the success stories of of what in school, outside school, then maybe they, by that time, they will be open enough to ask me questions. How did that happen? Was there any challenge that student faced? And that time there were not so many modifications and there were no alternate curriculum, so how did they do? Maybe then the real meaty questions will come out from the MLT to give them more clarity.
And when do you think you would want to start with this?
Since now this is the end of the term, I think a good start would be, ending the term would be of having the conversation, having a reflection of, hey, what challenges do you actually face this term, so that, when we go in term 2, we don't have that again. So I would maybe start from this term, have that first conversation with the MLT, and then get into, success stories a little bit in term 2. So maybe that could be one of my initial parts. That's how I would start. Yeah.
Brilliant. So I think you are good to go.
Yeah,
for this.
and I would really like the support from I think my Senko would really help initiate these conversations, or even having the head of primaries, where I'm working with the head of primary, being intervening with this.
Yes, so your head of Senko and head of primary could be your go-to people for this. Brilliant, Stephanie. So good luck.
Thank you.
And we will catch up again after some weeks
to
just see how we progressed, and if in case we need to make some alterations, and then we'll work.
Yeah, and thank you so much also for hearing me out. I didn't realize that there's so many ways that I could tackle this issue that I'm having. So thank you for hearing me out also.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stephanie.